No matter how many times I hear I deserve to be loved, I don't believe it. Yet I desperately crave for somebody special right now. Have you ever felt like this before? Let's talk about it. You know what? I'm done. I'm tired of thinking I can be a great partner but getting scared at the idea of a relationship and getting hurt again. I'm tired of my friends telling me I should just hook up with as many people as I can. I'm tired of feeling like I'm not good enough. I'm tired of transactional relationships where everyone's looking for a way to benefit from the other. In today's world, it seems that's what matters the most. What you can bring to the table, and that's it. I'm tired of feeling like an object. I'm tired of people taking advantage of other people's loneliness and vulnerability and exploiting them for a profit. I'm sick and tired of all of this. It's weird watching everyone else getting into relationships while you're left wondering, why can that be me? Or even having friends going for their third relationship, while some of us can't get past the talking stage with someone, or even gather the courage to talk to someone. Despite all of this, I crave for someone. I crave for someone who will understand my struggles. I crave for someone that I can be vulnerable with without being judged. I crave for someone that gets me. And I think we all deserve someone like that. But it seems like we have to do the impossible. And it's starting to lose the point. So let me tell you my story. I think my last relationship was about 4 years ago. Since then I never interacted with someone again, at least not in a romantic sense. It's been a while and the problem is that I started getting used to the feeling of being by myself most of the time, to the point that I even started neglecting my friends and my family because I started feeling like I wasn't enough for them, at least not yet. I hated myself. I just didn't have confidence or self-esteem. I felt the same for so long that I had to hit rock bottom to realize that there was so much to do. Deep down I knew all these things, but I refused to take responsibility. Now I get things won't change unless I understand myself better. And unfortunately, it is painful. But I promise you, once you get to know yourself better, once you start to listen to your body and accepting that not everything your head tells you it's true, things start to change for the better. For instance, let me tell you how I deal with these feelings. Since I have memory, I always craved for connection. You see, I'm an only child. No brothers, no cousins. I had absent parents, and I didn't have many friends. I did have a few, but I didn't see them very often, so I grew up with this idealized view of what love is, influenced by movies and TV, of course. I was and I still am a very nerdy guy. So when it comes to things that I like, I always had to be cautious because I was instantly called out for being annoying. Things like being too sensitive, sentimental, or passionate made me feel like I was weak or not manly enough, despite the fact that I was only a child. I was always picked up last in any physical activity, and when it came to having charisma or being a good speaker, I was never your first option, so I became this version of myself that never felt enough for anybody. Someone I didn't even recognize. Someone insecure. It went like this for years. Most of my childhood and early adolescence, I never felt loved. So when it came to relationships, I just went out with anyone because I felt entitled to a relationship, and then I had to try to prove myself as enough. I wasn't a charmer, I didn't have a great body, I didn't have money or anything going on for me, so I had to put more effort. But I ended up hurting many people in the way, and I ended up hurting myself too. So many toxic relationships, I got cheated on many times, and those things just kept fueling the idea that I wasn't enough. So I started resenting myself and everyone else. I felt miserable. I always ended up replaced by other guys, and I just started wondering what's even wrong with me, which made every relationship I made into a performance, and a selfish one, unfortunately. I was so desperate that I ended up with girls that didn't love me for who I am, girls that didn't even get me or accept me at all. I repeated this pattern 3 or 4 times, committing the exact same mistakes until something changed. But those changes came with a price, and it's something that I'm not proud of. It took 2 years until it finally finished. So many things happened that I realized a lot of things. Firstly, I realized that ever since I was a little child, I tried too much to please others by becoming this version of myself that wasn't even me at all. Secondly, I realized that I wanted a relationship so badly because I never felt loved by anyone, not even by myself, so maybe being loved by someone else was the answer. And thirdly, I realized that I never got to meet these girls deeply, so I didn't know I wasn't compatible with them at all. All these things brought me so much trouble, and I felt very lonely. So getting into relationships, craving love, those weren't my desires to love someone. Those were coping mechanisms and lies that I told myself so I could fulfill my needs, and in a way, to escape from myself, but at the expense of hurting everyone involved. It took me years to realize that I was not only hurting myself but hurting others by pursuing something I wasn't capable of maintaining in the long term. And I refused to learn until it went too far. And I learned to accept that I will not be ready for a relationship until I take care of myself and start becoming a version of me that I feel proud of. Not to find someone, not for others to validate me, but to make amends with myself and stop compromising my relationships. And so I learned something. But in a healthy way. With this, I don't mean to tell you should always think about yourself all the time, because I feel in today's world we tend to think too much about ourselves and what others can bring to us that we end up wasting many opportunities to make deep connections with those that surround us. No. By this, I mean you should always think about all those times you have neglected yourself and who do you want to become, so you can not only work your way to becoming that person, but so you can be okay with the idea of solitude, to stop those beliefs that you need to prove yourself to be worthy, and most importantly, to know that you deserve to be loved despite everything, that you don't need to be chosen, because you choose yourself and that's what matters the most. With that, you'll know you're ready to receive the love that you've been longing for. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Maybe you don't want to be alone anymore. Maybe you don't want things to end up the same. Maybe you still feel unworthy despite all of this, and I totally get you. But listen, you have to be honest with yourself first. Ignoring the aspect of having a healthy dynamic with yourself can lead you to very bad places. You end up with the love you think you deserve, not the one you truly deserve. And with this, let me tell you the rest of my story. Even realizing all of this took me some time to fully process. I started doing more of the things I like, hanging out more with my friends and taking care of myself. Until I met someone and we started talking for some time, I felt like maybe things would turn out okay if I learned something from my past mistakes. But guess what? She actually changed me for someone else, despite establishing exclusivity while hanging out. Yeah, it hurt me at the moment, but this time something changed. I didn't feel sad or like hating myself. This time I accepted that these things happen. This time it wasn't my fault, so I ended up this mess in the best way possible and moved on. I know it might not seem like much, but trust me, keeping in mind all the things that I told you before, this was a huge step. It was an improvement and I feel proud of it. Yes, it was not big, but it wasn't small either. And with this I learned that not everything is in our hands to make relationships work. Maybe things happen for a reason. Maybe we have to blindly trust the idea that if things are not working out, there's a reason behind it. I'm not talking about some mystical power, I'm talking about those decisions that we subconsciously make that prevent us from improving ourselves and our relationships. This time I learned that maybe these things are not meant for me right now, and that's okay. Maybe I'm meant to become a better version of myself before meeting someone and taking care of their needs. Maybe I'm meant to help you and hear you. Or maybe I have to put in the work on my goals so I can meet more like-minded people. Possibilities are endless. And I'm okay with the idea of being single for a long time because I'm liking this new version of myself that I'm building. Of course it's not perfect, I still feel lonely, I still feel insecure, but that just means there's always room for improvement. And if you're still not convinced, just keep something in mind. A relationship right now maybe isn't the solution to your problems. On the contrary, it's a new set of problems on top of the ones you already have. Instead, focus on the things you know you can achieve by yourself. Fill your life with excitement, work hard on yourself. Develop as a person, learn new skills. Experience as much of the world as you can. And love will happen when it happens. Also, this doesn't mean you have to be perfect. This doesn't mean you have to have everything in place to be worthy, because life happens and it can be tough to endure. Trust me, when the time comes, only the right person will accept your flaws and support you in your darkest times, and you won't have to wait to be chosen. You'll know when you're there. In the meantime, I wish you the best, and I really hope you can find the love you deserve. Just be patient. Hey there, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you liked it. Normally I have things to say after these videos, but nothing comes to my mind right now, so as always, if you have any suggestions, if you have any questions or feedback, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I will gladly read your story. Also, please like and subscribe. It would really help me a lot since I'm just starting this channel, and I really want to know how far we can go. Without anything to say, I'll see you again very soon. Bye.